line of followers.
That's true. Well, I don't know about those followers. These are just my followers yet. So I have to tap into Ashok's followers now.
Yes, he has a big followers, right?
He's a
I don't have as big a social life or social network like he has. So I just work behind the scene and I like that way.
I agree with that.
No, got it. I think. No, not mine. Jay was calling you, so I got it. Setting up. Setting up.
Hello, everyone. Would you like to impact a billion lives? Welcome to our show, IIT 2020, Impact Fireside Chat series, where we invite thought leaders and innovators to discuss their approach of the future, especially in this post-pandemic world. Today, I have a very special guest, Ruma Acharya. Ruma is IIT KGP alumni. She is also a distinguished alum. She and her spouse have built a multi-billion-dollar organization. Some of you may be familiar with that. But the biggest reason I invited her is her love for art. She has donated substantially to the art and to artists. They are building Tigor Center in Houston. So let's talk to her and understand what is her inspiration. So Rumaji, why don't you share with us your vision of Tigor Center? Because that's very unique. And why Houston?
As you may have heard, that city of Houston is a very, very diversified city and one of the largest city. And I could not choose any better city than the city of Houston. The goal is, when I was serving Tigor Society of Houston as a president, I did lots of study on Tigor. And of course, if you are a Bengali, you are from West Bengal, and Tigor's hometown, Shantiniketan, we have a house there. Of course, we know from very childhood through his songs and poems and stories and novels and plays.
I mean, Jan Gan Man is written by him, right?
Right.
Our national anthem.
I didn't know national anthem, 3 countries, India, Bangladesh, and even, I believe, Sri Lanka.
Wow.
So 3 countries. And in United Nations, they sing that Tigor songs in the opening as they open up the meetings. So, but Tigor's philosophical part, I learned a whole lot while working on his stuff during my tenure at Tigor Society of Houston. Philosophy is, his vision was far-fledged. And in his time, probably not too many people understood that vision. His vision is way above our understanding, and probably to some extent to our reach. He thought about all people, downtrodden, poor people. You probably had read some of his poems, coming from a very, very wealthy family, how much he understood the people less privileged, the village that he built. And then he...
Rumaji, may I request you to move a little bit back, because I can't see on the camera. Perfect. Thank you.
Sure. Then about his religion, he was above the religion, he was above the race, he was above the color. And that's what I saw in Houston. We still have this tremendous conflict, and we sometimes use that conflict to our advantage to keep ourselves above that line of demarcation. And I thought this is where I can plant the seed of Tigors vision for diversity. And when I started talking, I didn't have to go through Indian people. Indian people know Tigor. Indian people know what I'm talking about. But I do not know how much Indian people have been practicing his vision, I'm not sure. But I thought it would be much easier for me to take the message to the mainstream in America, where people barely know Tigor. Some people know, some people do not know at all. And it was not very difficult for me to bring Tigor's vision to them. Whomever I spoke, they immediately wanted to be involved in my project, to want to do something what I'm doing. And that is what my inspiration is. And now I have taken a challenge, probably did not realize how big this challenge is and I started that at a very late age. And my only fear is that I have to complete before I go, and hope I have the stamina, I have the energy to finish it up. And I need only 5 more years to finish it. And that's the inspiration. The people are my inspiration. People who appreciate my stuff, that's my inspiration. As you said, I love art, I love culture outside my academic world. That doesn't mean that I had been any less in my academic world. Ashok can tell more. I've been very, very good student all my life.
You are very accomplished, Rumaji. You are very accomplished.
But I want to do the same, acknowledgement and appreciations, my other side of what I'm trying to do, which is I'm just a beginner. But it's a big struggle, it's a big challenge. And of course, such a massive project takes lots of money. And my only source of money is Ashok. And right now the economic time is not so good. So I have to find a way how to continue to this project. It's halfway done, but still quite a bit to go. And the platform is for the people, underprivileged children or aspiring artists, and be it a performing arts or visual arts. I want to give them the platform to go to reach to the larger platform, is a global platform, maybe national platform, and be recognized. That's my vision right now, or mission, you can call it.
That's a very, that it is a tall order. It's a very ambitious goal, but I'm sure with your grit, your perseverance, you can achieve that. I'm not worried about it. And one thing I wanted to add, Rumaji, I personally feel what you are doing, what Ashok is doing, you're planting seeds for us or for the next generation. It's our job to come and work with you and to make it your vision with you successful. So, and what you are setting it up is not for your generation only, or it's not for my generation, it's for generations to come. And we both know through art, we can change everything. I will give you one simple example of my own life, which I learned pretty late in my life. I never thought the music has such a profound impact. Now I have a couple of songs in my phone all the time. And whenever I feel, life is keep throwing you curveballs or lemons. How do you make it a lemonade? So you can't make lemonade all the time, but this just music.
True.
Just changes everything. And so I completely echo with you, and thank you very, very much for doing it for us and next generation. In fact, I don't know if you have been to the museums in Washington, D.C. So
Australia,
Smithsonian
yes.
Museum.
Some of them Smithsonian, yes.
Yeah, so Umang Gupta, if you know, he's also one of the IIT
Yes,
Kanpur alum. He has
yes.
donated, his name is even featured there. When I saw it
Really?
first time, oh, I can't even tell you, Arumaji, the pride I have.
Of course.
And I know him personally, so I took the picture with that place and then I sent it to him. I say, Umang, thank you. Because the work you are doing, my generation and even the generation after me, they don't understand yet the value of it. It is so important. Our artistic capabilities and recognizing artists is very, very important. We are all engineers, especially in IIT, and we completely forgot. Without music, there is no engineering.
True.
Without art,
True.
there is no world, no future. So thank
Absolutely
you for
true.
that. So,
Thank you.
I have another question for you, which is on similar line. So you are an engineer at heart, and you
Mhm.
spend most of your time giving back to society. Of course, especially art. What is your inspiration? How you got an idea to do something like that? You could have done anything.
As you said, the music brings a different tune of life. You can put art on the same page. Um, there are people who may not be able to sing, but they can express their emotion, their feeling through their artwork. And I always love to do painting if I have time. And I started learning piano at a very late age. After my son went to school, learning piano almost 17 years with a grand piano, and Ashok said you have to make use of it. I started learning from, day number one ABC, went all the way to Chopin. So you can learn anything. Same thing with my art. I could do lots of good artwork, painting when I was young and got some awards too. But then I forgot my study, engineering, my other stuff. I've had to focus on those and lost time to devote myself, something I had a passion for it. And if you come to our California home, I have those easel and the painting and the brush. I think I will sit on the balcony, watch on the ocean, and do the painting as I see. But I hardly get time. Maybe someday you'll see some pictures I have drawn.
I will love to.
And
So do you have any
and
specific style or artist you follow?
I love abstract painting. I love abstract painting where I can express my emotion. I express what I'm seeing through life. In abstract painting, you have to have a special taste and
Yeah.
special knack for it. If you do something with, if somebody is drinking tea or a flower you see or a bird flying, those you can see, and some people are fantastic on those. But abstract art is easy to paint, but understanding you have to have a deep thinking, like Tigor's philosophy, which is very allegorical. Same thing, abstract art could be very allegorical. You have to really pay attention the details of the painting, and that's where I come from.
So Rumaji, there are a lot of audience like me who are engineer. So can you explain what is allegorical means for people like us?
You know, all IITians are very competent in English.
Like, what do you
Allegorical
mean?
means a dual.
Because there is a reason we
Allegorical
use that
means in
word.
dual meaning, dual concept. Okay, so if you read some of simple poem, I don't know how much you know about Bengali. You can speak
Well,
Bengali?
I did my training in Calcutta Metro. So I spent few months in Calcutta and I enjoy puchkas there. I enjoy sandesh. I enjoy amazing fruit. And especially the sweets were phenomenal. I still miss it. It's like, I don't know, 25 years ago. So my memories of Calcutta is, I have so many fond memories. Uh, but
There are,
phenomenal people.
these days, I think if you go Google, many of Tagore's books coming translated in English,
Yes.
maybe in some in Hindi too. So I would recommend, if you really want to understand what is allegorical, read the book Ghore Baire. Ghore means the room and Baire is the outside. It's the outer world and inner world.
Nice.
When you read that book, I can give you several examples of some of his poems, very allegorical.
Can
If you
you
first
narrate
read,
one for us?
narrate, I have to have the book.
Sure. I'm
Uh,
sure Ashok can
but
get that book for us.
I'm not at home. I see it's in the
Okay.
book. Yeah, I'll do that another time
Please,
for you
please.
only.
Thank you.
So when you read first time, it is simple reading, as you see, as you read. But the deeper meaning of it that would eventually impact our life, nation, globe, you have to read at least 2 or 3 times of Tagore's those kind of novel or those kind of poem. And when you go through that, you get a deep sense of his writing. And that is what there's a underlining, each, some meaning into it, and you can understand it will touch the core of your life.
Yeah. It's so easy, but you are
That's
absolutely right.
that is what allegorical is all about, and it's a mystified.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I ask, it's one is just knowing the meaning, one is really understanding what it truly means, and especially truly
Exactly.
means to an artist. That's the reason I requested you for a little bit explanation.
I knew that you're tricking me.
I learned over the years, and one interesting phrase which always stuck with me is, our life is not about how many breaths we take. It's about how many moment takes our breath away.
Fantastic.
And
Yes.
this is what happened when you listen to an amazing music, read an amazing poem, or watch or just see an amazing painting. And the painting can be on the sky, and painting can be on the wall. So that brings to another interesting question, which I asked a lot of people and I never got a good response, but I'm sure you will
My
give me a
goodness, that's a
phenomenal
tough question
response.
for me.
It's a
Okay, go
perfect
ahead.
question for you, Ruma. So if you have an opportunity to go back in past or future, any direction or dimension, and you can meet anyone, who will that be and why?
It's a very difficult question. First of all, if you ask me directly that question, my one word is, I do not believe in my past. I do not believe in my future. I live in present. Now that you ask me the question, if I have to go back, and as I think it's my mother, who I all through my life misunderstood. Now that she's gone, I go back in my flashback. I assess her. She's my principal inspiration of my life and my achievement.
All I can say it
Can't hear
is,
you. Yeah,
all I can
go
say
ahead.
it is, it's really profound. And, you know, a lot of time when we are with people, we don't realize the value of them or that relationship. When they are gone, we realize how much we miss them. But on the same note, they know that. It's not like just the way you know your kids, just the way I know my kids. It doesn't matter what they say. You know deep down, they love you. I'm
Yes,
sure your mom knows no matter what you say on the face. parents knows.
True.
So, people ask me this question too. This is, hey, Sanjiv, you're asking this question. Who will that be for you? So I'll share with you because I think someone like you will appreciate. So for me, I'm not great in any art, neither painting. So I'm not as amazing artist like you, or music. So,
don't give me all those get credit is not right. Go ahead.
Rumaji, I can tell you is but I will take credit where it deserves. I am a great fan. I'm a great fan of people. I have huge respect and appreciation for artists. I spent some time in Europe, and Rembrandt is my favorite painter. I used to go.
You've been to Holland? Went to his museum?
Holland, I went, but I couldn't go to his museum. But I had to spend a lot of time in Vienna. So I went to go to the museum there next to Opera House. And I used to just sit there on the bench. There was a bench in front of the painting section they have for him. And I could see his keystroke. And even if I close my eyes, I can see how he paint. So my wish is, if I can go back, which, again, it's like in your dreams kind of thing, I would just want to go and see him painting. That how his brain was working and how his hands were moving, and what was the environment when he was painting these things. He was not a very big or appreciated painter in his lifetime, which is unfortunate, but like most painters, unfortunately. However, the work he has produced is just so deep, so amazing. Just the way we talk about Tagore and what he has written, and what is available in Hindi. So I read some of those. And I'm so glad you pick Tagore as the person and follow and share his learnings, or share his teaching, or share his work with the world. It's very admirable. I just want you to know that from bottom of my heart. It's huge.
Thank you.
Huge.
You mentioned I lived in Holland about a year, one day less, a year. Yeah, I have been to Rembrandt's museum, but I would encourage you to, I'm sure you had been to Italy.
Yeah, several times.
So you know what the paintings I'm talking about?
Which one?
If you go to Naples.
Oh, I didn't go to South. I was mostly North. So Venice
is
where
are
I
the
go
museums. Those are the museums you have to visit, and those paintings are outstanding. They're very old paintings, but if you stand before them, those paintings are talking to you. It doesn't look like it's been done hundreds of years ago. So bright, so glowing, and I do not know that touch of their brush. How was it? And it's something so amazing. I used to sit in front of and watch for minutes and minutes and hours and see how it's done. Show some of the sculpture. I'm sure you have been to places in Italy. If you travel in the north, that's where all the sculptures are.
Oh yeah, I love Rome, by the way. That's one of my, people hate it. Even Romans hate it, but I love Rome. So much history. And I'm an engineer. I look at Rome very differently than anyone else. Being a civil engineer, and
you're a civil engineer.
I'm a civil engineer. I look at it and I say, wow, if Roman Empire continued, we may have flying cars 200 years ago. They could build all that at that time. How they did it? I mean, it's just, I still baffle. I look at all the structures there, the buildings there, and Pantheon and all. It's impossible to build even today. With
I'm
all
sure
the
you probably own I'm sure you probably own one of those Alfa Romeo.
No, I don't. No, I just enjoy. I go there and enjoy. I'm a purist that way. I just, the art is supposed to be appreciated, not purchased.
Mm-hmm. True. true.
Thank you. Thank you. So apart from the art, what else is really keeping you busy? What else are you working on nowadays?
You said something very good, and I said, oh, you're a civil engineer. By education, I'm a chemical engineer. I never practiced chemical engineering in my career. I became a petroleum engineer. I worked all my life, almost, except when I started my business. I was petroleum engineer, production engineers, reservoir engineer, simulation engineer, all kind of stuff. But then when I started my business, it was a civil engineering company.
Wow.
Structural engineer, geotechnical engineer, testing lab. And I learned all those civil engineering through my engineers with their reading their report, following how they do it. And what I did, I applied my chemical engineering knowledge to diversify that business to environmental. That's where my chemical skill came. And that's how this company took off and became pretty big. 2010, I sold the company and started liking, because I learned so much of construction. I built my Houston house. The design is my own. In 3 years, it was on the table. And then I got a general contractor and got that foundation built. In the Harvey flooding in Houston, famous Harvey flood, every house is almost in our neighborhood flooded. My house did not flood.
Wow.
I had a 3 feet above ground sitting on 47 piers. Is the
You could
geotechnical
see the
engineering
future.
knowledge.
Engineer of the future.
Yes, FEMA and everybody had the boat and picking up stuff, but they stationed their boats by my house because, and we are the only house that had electricity because it's not flooded.
Wow.
And so now you see the Tigor Center Foundation. Today I am I'm a general contractor for this $10 million project. I am the general contractor. And people in the neighborhood, lots of black guys came. You are the owner and you are the engineer and you are the general contractor. All these contractors are working for you. I said, that is right, because they see I'm wandering around with these big rolls of drawings
The
and
blueprints.
plans, and inspectors coming, checking, asking questions. I may have to explain this to the contractors. But you can, it's a tremendous pain, tremendous struggle, tremendous hard work. But at the end of the day, it's a gratification. When people, now it's almost to the end of the project, the beautiful building, so wow, today one inspector came and told me, I can't believe it's such a beautiful building you're building. And that is the end of the day, my reward. There's no money involved.
Yeah.
Is that token of appreciation that people are liking. I said, this is all mine. This is all my way of doing things. I'm no civil engineer. I don't know civil engineering. That's not my foundation. But I learned the technology through people like you who worked for me, reported me, and reading the report, understanding, questioning, even working in the testing lab. I did the Proctor PI, Atterbuck limits. I know 3000 PSI, 30 days break, and those kind of stuff. And all these buildings I built, I did also lots of, plants, many structures in Houston and also in Montana. I built many of his buildings and very complex structural engineering. But I understood, because I have the appetite of learning. Learning in my life will never end till my last breath. I'm always learning.
So Rumaji, I have another question for you on the similar lines. Can you share any story from your life which still inspires you? Maybe childhood, maybe college days. Any story which resonates with you even today?
If I tell you a story, you may laugh.
Sure. Try me.
I lost my father at a very, very early age. I was raised by a single mother.
Sorry.
And, but I was surrounded with many of my relatives, uncles and grandparents. They're very successful, they're very well off and well educated, very prominent people of West Bengal and India probably. My role model was my uncle, who was the economist advising Indira Gandhi. He was in London School of Economics, then went to France, then returned for the sake of his patriotism. He wanted to serve India. Even he had a French wife who did not like to stay in India. He forgo his personal life and became head of the Department of Economics in Vishwabharati. He was the head of the Department of India's Statistical Institute in Baranagar, Kolkata. And everybody told me, and he was nominated for Nobel Prize. Amartya Sen is his student, so is that other guy, Binayak, guy who got the Nobel Prize. They all are the student of my uncle. My uncle is no more. When he returned from England and Europe, everybody in my family talked very high about him. He's almost untouchable. He's almost like a god. And I used to, as a young Ruma, when he was visiting our house, talking to my mother, he was a big fan of my mother. I couldn't talk to him because I knew that he's one of the big stars in the sky. I would watch him, how he speaks, how he talks. He was a very humble man. And when he left our house, I asked my mother, he looked like one of us. What is so big about him? And I thought I wanted to be like him. I want to be big, but I'll never give a slight impression to anyone that I've achieved anything. I'm born for a purpose, and I'm here to serve. When my day is over, let people know who I am. If I have done anything, let them talk, but I don't want to hear. That's not what I'm here for. And this is what the purpose of my life. That's what I adopted as a mission of my life.
Rumaji, as one of my friends told me this, I was sharing with him my own life journey and discussing with him. And I met this phenomenal human being. I will not drop his name because that doesn't sound right. See, he worth personally few $100 billion today. And we started talking, and I shared with him the stories. And even in last 20 days, when I reached out to all of you who are a big role model for most of us from IIT community, I must have spoken to at least 14 multi-billionaires or billionaires. One thing I learned, and in one sentence I can summarize: fuller the tree is, lower the branches are.
You said it right. You said it right. It reminds me of one story that I was speaking in Pan IIT. They had a special session for the women speaker, and I was one of them. There was another Ruma Acharya from California, I guess, in the drug industry, that she's doing some medicinal research. Mm-hmm. She was another speaker too, much younger than me. And many good speakers were there, but at the end, when all this presentation was over, I was surrounded by hundreds of women. I said, what's happening? Have you ever thought about writing a biography about yourself? I said, are you kidding? I don't want to talk about me. Let people write about me, not me. And, I was kind of surprised. that presentation moved lots of women. And same thing happened, I think 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe. I was invited to speak in Haldia, in Kolkata, West Bengal. One of my old classmates invited me to speak. Indian Institute of Chemical Engineering, their annual stuff. And they asked me to talk about some technical stuff. I said, all my life I made presentation on technology, technical, my writing, my publishing. This time I'm going to talk something about simple about life. How to, being a woman, how can be an achiever? How you can accomplish your goal? It was a hit topic end of the day.
Oh.
There were politicians, there were lots of women, and they said, we have not heard this stuff, long time. But I can tell you, whatever I say, whatever I do, it comes from the bottom of my heart. That's the way I feel, that's the way I think, that's the way I speak. That's me.
Rumaji, when we all learn and grow, we create certain things about us. It's not about me, but I'll share with you something I have learned in last so many years, doing hundreds of things, different courses. I can summarize everything in 3 words in our life. Number 1, choice or perceived choice. Number 2, experience, because each choice gives you an experience. And number 3 is meaning. And who decide that meaning is you. So in the end, it's just meaning. Whatever happened in our life, we decide the meaning. And that meaning can change our life of people around us, our community, to everything. Something bad happened, we give wrong meaning, and we completely ruin even the next generation. And we give good meaning, we change everything. Look at all of us, every single IITian, close to 50,000 of us in America. We came to this country, pretty much nothing. All of us have maybe different stories from India. I mean, I couldn't even afford shoes at the age of maybe 8 or 9, but we all came here and we have built not only successful companies or contributed trillions of dollars to our economy. We are all American citizens. I'm really proud of that. It's phenomenal what we have done because we chose the meaning. We chose the meaning is nobody is going to save us. We are here to work. We are here to contribute. And through contribution, we can build all this. Look what you and Ashok has done. You have built such an amazing, successful organization without any support, without anything. It's remarkable. And just imagine how many Ashoks and Ruma are there from here to India or here to Australia. So many of those. And people like you are the role model for a lot of us. There are 123,000 students right now in IIT, 23 IITs, 123,000. Just imagine if we can have 23 more Ashoks and 23 more Rumas. It's going to change the world. So
IIT yes. KGP itself is a miracle to me. I mean, I am amazed. Almost 90% of IITians that I know of, they're no less than the, cream of the cream de la cream people. I mean, every one of them are high achiever. And I don't know how it happens and why it happens. Is the air or is the train that passes the Kharagpur station or a KG become the high that slogan that keeps them going? I have no idea. But
Romaji,
it's
we can
amazing,
debate about it.
amazing
I am from
bunch.
IIT Delhi. I disagree with that, but that's okay.
Okay.
because there is nothing I can do. Sundar Pichai is the CEO of Google, so I have nothing to say. I'm speechless.
All IITians are achievers. That's for sure. So if anybody suffers and now we hear that he's IITian, we just can't accept it. We just can't believe that any IITian can drop from the tree and be sitting on the ground.
Romaji,
And
I think it's very simple. What I will say, it is very simple. It's not just achiever, in my opinion. And again, you have lived life longer than me and you have more experiences. To me, failure is not an option. To every single IITian who come to this country, in fact, almost every single immigrant who come to this country, failure is not an option. We talk about IITians, but let's look at the whole Florida. The people who swim from Cuba, literally swim from Cuba, made Florida their home, and they have built billion-dollar organizations. I happen to met few of them. They have zero education. Even today, they never went to school. So the reason I'm just trying to say that, Rumaji, is it's not just the education. It's just our sheer desire to be someone. It's our sheer desire to build something. It's our sheer desire to be part of something bigger. And that is one of the reasons America is still one of the greatest nations in the world, because immigrants come here and build an amazing life for them and the society. This is still land of the dreams. This is the only country on planet built by entrepreneurs. So I completely believe that this is the place. I have lived in 6 countries before I got here. There is no place like America even today. I mean, there are a lot of idiosyncrasies, a lot of challenges. The world is divided. America is getting divided. I hate a lot of things about what's happening today. But so point I'm trying to make it is, people like you, me, all of us, we come here with a sheer desire to be someone. And we don't take no for an answer. If we fail, we'll try, we'll die trying. And that's the passion I see in every single one, especially from IIT. But even otherwise, if you see, that is the secret of every single immigrant. Failure is not an option. So it's almost the end of our segment. I have one more question for you. What role curiosity has played in your life?
I'm always curious. It's not a role. Even today, I'm curious about you. You are taking our interview, but I can see a very humble man sitting in front of me.
Thank you.
You have taught me lots of stuff. Many things that you told me, I'll remember.
Thank you.
Is extremely, extremely golden statements that you made.
And I hope to get an opportunity. We'll convince Ashok to go to Italy, 3 of us, and we'll go and watch all those paintings. I'll make sure he does that for both of us.
You come to Houston to see my work that I'm doing in Tigor Center Foundation.
You tell me, after December 5th, I will come anywhere you say. I'm busy till December 5th.
Ashok will make an arrangement for you. Come visit.
I'll look forward.
It is wonderful, and thank you for inviting me.
Before I let you go, give me just 1 minute, please. So, thank you very much, everyone. Today, we have learned 3 things from Rumaji. Let's focus on equal opportunity for all. Deliver or drive future with humanity. And how can we work and create a platform for underprivileged? Rumaji, thank you very much for joining us today and supporting IIT community globally. I'm Sanjiv Goyal, Conference Chair of IIT 2020 org, Pan IIT USA's mega virtual event. Please join us and co-invent and co-define paradigms of the future. Our event is open to all. Once again, www.iit2020.org. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sanjiv. Nice talking to you. I hope to see you soon.